This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. We're back on the Zoom interviews. It feels weird. Obviously, all interviews have been in person and stuff the last few weeks, but I guess needs must.
The
Obviously,
foreigner.
Dave, you're obviously over in the UK at the moment, so it's a bit hard until fight week to sort of get an interview with you. I guess it must be nearly a year probably since. Well, we'd obviously done one on Zoom obviously before your fight was obviously announced with Colin last time, but it must
Yeah,
be probably about a year since we maybe done the first one together.
yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been. For the last Colin fight, yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
Celtic title.
How's things with you? I guess obviously the last we obviously seen you, you and Colin were just after a war in the Gerwood Centre, and I think you were looking forward to getting down to Dublin and experience it. Was it the club truck or something like that? You were
The
posting all
club
the
tricking
memories
truck,
of food.
yeah, yeah, and the walking down roundabout, yeah, not to be missed, not to be missed.
I guess now when you're less than 4 weeks out now, obviously from the fight, you're now starting to think of them wee things for after again. It's what can I eat after I've
And
fought and everything else.
I've started to get hangry now. You know, my missus are like, "Oh, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing this." I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I can't do it."
It's them wee things that keep you going, I guess, through camp. I guess I wouldn't know what it's like to obviously be a professional fighter, but whenever you're getting punched in the face for a living and you're putting in the hard mile straight camp and disciplining yourself, it's great to have that reward afterwards to go, I'm gonna eat like an absolute bear for a week.
Yeah, well, I put the dad bod on in between camps. I think I said that previously in our last interview. I enjoy spending time with the family and going out for some meals, have a few drinks and stuff afterwards. You know, so that's what I like to do. You know, to enjoy the break. You know.
And obviously you got back to winning ways. Obviously you beat Ricky Starkey, I think was it in March? Was it
Yeah.
sort of then was it sort of then that you knew the idea was in motion sort of for the rematch, or was it just the fact of get back to
Um.
winning ways and
Well,
then see
yeah,
what's
get
next?
back to winning ways and trying to fight for another title. That was the plan. Who, where, when, what title it was going to be, I wasn't too sure. But yeah, getting back to winning ways was the main priority, and I did that in style with Ricky. I almost got him out there in the third and fourth. He's just tough. He's just a tough cookie. He just kept going, and he got through the rounds. And now we're moving on to this one, the Irish title now. Yeah.
It sort of came as a shock to me. I probably pretty much know most things that sort of happened, but obviously the BUA had sort of granted it. I guess I tried to do both you and Colin a favour. I tried to get you on the Katie Taylor card, marked
Yeah,
and lobbed. I
yeah.
think every minute of every day was calling Eddie Hearn to try and get it done. And I guess it's one of these things, isn't it? Just wasn't meant to be that, that obviously it was going to be on Dublin. That would have been a dream, I guess, but we finally the rematch's been done, and in less than 4 weeks' time, it'll be happening again in Belfast.
Yeah, well, obviously, as Eddie Hearn said in the interview, I think you questioned him.
Yeah.
He just said Mark's been non-stop on the phone, 60 phone calls a day, like just not non-stop. And fair play to Mark, you know, he tried to get it done. Me and Colin have been ready for this. So come 4th of July, we'll see.
Obviously, speaking of obviously Dublin, I guess obviously for you, obviously being originally from Dublin, obviously relocated in England now, but great for obviously not great result wise on the night, but obviously great to see the three arena back. I think it's the first time since
Oh, oh
2015 it's been used. Does that
yeah.
does that turn things in your head now? Where you're going, you're pitching yourself fighting there. I know we were close to sort of getting the fight made for there, but you're obviously now starting to go. I want to have big nights in the three arena like everybody else.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's good to see boxing back down south, you know. We had the Wexford show, we had the Cork show, it was Waterford as well,
Waterford.
Galway, you know.
I,
So it's
I I can
uh,
tell you them all. I was in the car for a lot of them. Waterford, Galway, two shows in Dublin, and obviously then we've had two shows in Belfast so far. I'm missing
yeah,
the Cork
yeah,
show in less than 2 weeks' time, but boxing's thriving here. I
yeah.
guess when you relocated across over to England, you probably didn't think boxing could flourish so much as it is recently.
No, no, definitely not. And that's why I made the move over here, you know, to thrive in boxing. But now that's it's coming back to Ireland, you know. Well, I'll have a homecoming soon, definitely.
Is that the sort of the next sort of bucket list challenge is they obviously to get a homecoming fight and I guess
Oh,
some
definitely.
fans that
So
probably couldn't go to
with
England.
your style, defend it in Dublin would be nice. Yeah.
Obviously, the rematch, I guess, said at super featherweight. Obviously, the last time out was it featherweight. I
Yeah.
never meant to. I forgot to ask Colin. Obviously, when I interviewed him the other day, and the way it was said at super featherweight is I guess a few extra pound obviously helps the both of you. Health wise and everything else. Having to
Yeah,
completely
definitely.
train yourselves.
Yeah, definitely helps us. Obviously, as boxers, we have a pressure to make weight, sell tickets, be just promote ourselves all the time. So if we can take one of them stresses away, then why not? Definitely. And the fact that the BOI confirmed it, then that's all that matters.
Obviously, first time around in the Gerber, obviously over 8 rounds of featherweight. It ended up 5-3 in rounds, and what a war it was. Do you sort of expect probably much of the same? I guess an extra 2 rounds, an extra couple of pound, obviously in weight upwards. But is it sort of going to it, maybe knowing more of what Column's style are you the twos, or as I said to you before, these are like sort of mirror images of each other, the way these have characteristics and everything else. Do you go into it probably with better confidence? Do you know of an extra 2 rounds might suit you better? How have you sort of planned for the rematch for
Yeah,
this?
yeah. Well, obviously the extra weight helps the two of us in for the extra 2 rounds, I suppose, as well. Um, yeah. So obviously, I think the two of us have learned a lot from each other in the first fight, and we'll bring all of our faults and everything that worked in the first fight for us into the next one. So I can see it be just as exciting as the first one, with even more boxing involved. It's going to be an exciting one, definitely.
And it was voted in obviously the fight of the year, but obviously Irish Boxing Awards, and which is obviously a good accolade to get. Obviously, when people are watching the fights and sort of thinking of your fights, I know I was able to still the footage and put it onto YouTube sort of afterwards so that people could see it. But
Yeah,
I guess obviously whenever you come off a defeat, it sort of doesn't look good when it's in a fight of the year. You want to be in a fight of the year and be the winner rather than sort of being the not the victorious sort of on the night.
yeah.
So is the aim for you this time around? Obviously win the Irish title and then be nominated for fight of the year, and then you can sort of boast about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Obviously, when I heard it was fight of the year, I was delighted. Obviously, after hearing the 5-3 scorecard, I was thinking, oh, is it in my favorite? Is it not in my favorite? Obviously, his hand got raised. Fair enough. That's boxing. I'm not a sore loser. I rewatched the fight then, and I actually became a sore loser because I was thinking that that wasn't the right decision. In my eyes, I thought it was 5-3 the opposite way. But listen, boxing is boxing. The judges see what they see on the night, and I'm here to redeem myself now on the 1st of July.
And obviously the first Irish title fight in over 3 years. He's a big the winner obviously will become the first Irish super featherweight champion in more than 6 years. The last holder of that belt was James Tennyson. So is a good man to sort of come behind. Obviously, we know what James done. He fought for world title, British champion, European champion.
Yeah,
So the winner of obviously you and Colm has got big shoes to fill.
yeah, definitely. Obviously, me and Colin, when we mentioned it after the fight, we said we'd love to do the rematch again for the Irish title, and I think it means the world to both of us. And obviously, me starting out as a professional boxer, I've always wanted to fight for the Irish title, so this is a dream come true, I suppose. And because Irish boxing has been so slow in the progress and the build up, this is huge for me. So I'm
We've
delighted.
obviously seen similar. Obviously, I know that you keep an eye on obviously everything as well, and we've seen obviously Kevin Cronin and Jimmy Morrissey fight twice. First time around, obviously there was a point in it. Second time it was around as a draw. People now want to see a trilogy fight. I guess obviously if you win this time around, it makes it one each. It nearly makes it look like there has to be a trilogy fight. Is that
Yeah,
what you're sort of aiming for? I guess the the problem is when it becomes a trilogy fight, it's getting a card that's big enough for it. And I probably said if Cronin and Morrissey were to fight again, it needs to be on a big TV card and everything else. For you and obviously Colin, they maybe potentially do it for a third time as well. It would be down that same vein. You want to get paid as much money as possible because
oh,
let's
of
face
course.
it, you can fight for peanuts at this game at times, and it's reaping the rewards, particularly with you with a kid as well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Obviously, I'm a family man, you know. In the back of my head, I am. I do a lot of the sport, obviously, you know, but I want to make some decent money out of it and support my family and my little lad who's 2. He's down there now screaming and shouting, and I can hear him in the background. Um, but yeah, no, he pushes me, and that's what I'm in it for at the end of the day.
You've obviously another fellow Dub just been announced in the card there today. Obviously, 2020 Olympian Emmett Brennan's obviously going to be making his professional debut in the card. I guess more Dubs in Belfast is probably going to even it out, sort of. But I know that the
Yeah,
Dubs are very loud, but a few of obviously Emmett's fans getting involved, and everybody's going to want to see. Everybody wants to see Irish title fights, so it's only going to add more to the atmosphere, and hopefully, depending on where Emmett's at in the card, that his
yeah.
fans stay about and watch it.
He's super middleweight, isn't he? Super middle.
Super middle.
So yeah, it's a big, exciting prospect. Obviously he's got. I'm more or less. I'm guessing he's going to bring a big crowd with him. I'll bring a big crowd with me. 4th of July, I reckon it'll be mostly Dubs there. To be honest, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to hearing the Dublin make some noise.
It's always good when you have that mix of Belfast and Dublin. Obviously, it always makes for good nights. The Europa Hotel. I think you stayed in the Europa the last time, but fought in the
Yeah,
Gurwood. Whereas
yeah,
obviously this time around, you're getting the experience. The Europa Hotel. It's nice, close. You obviously probably fought in some or similar in England, close and compact, and people can make
yeah.
plenty of noise. And I think there's a dinner part to it first of all, so people will be well oiled up by the time it comes to use fighting around 10 o'clock in the main event.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All my fans, they love a bit of oil in them before they get into the ring. You know, it calms the nerves, and especially over 10 rounds as well. Half hour punching each other in the head. You know, it's gonna be brilliant. It's gonna be a lot nice.
And one of your fans, it was obviously there the last time. He's obviously part of the same gym as you as well. Obviously, Lee Gormley is going to be making his professional debut the week before you. In
Yeah, the
Bolton,
24th of June. Yeah, he's out in three weeks. Yes.
just under 3 weeks time. And I know that he was over in Gurwood the last time for the fight, and I'd seen he posted, I think, earlier today. They said he'd be there to watch. I guess it's good for you to obviously have a fellow Irishman in the camp with you as well, because you don't need to slow down. You can say things the way you're normally used to saying them, and Lee will be able to pick them up.
I've adapted to that now. I've been here like 4 years now, you know. So people are they used to me, or they go, can you repeat that? You know. But what? Not Lee, not Lee. We have a ramble with each other, and people be looking at us thinking, what are they even saying? You know, even sometimes little Slán, Digit, Lee, and you know, he's like, everyone's like, what language are you speaking? You know. But it's nice. It's nice to have that little bit of Irish banter there.
Obviously, crowd wise, have you had much the same sort of crowd coming over the last time? Is there more going to making the trip across because we're coming into summer season? What sort of crowd are you bringing? And I guess you'll have the ones coming from Dublin as well, so they're sort of coming from all angles.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, with being summer, people they want to go on little holiday abroad, these little weekend trips, and there are a lot coming over Saturday morning, flying home Sunday morning, and they're gonna make a little weekend out of it in Belfast, you know. So
And
we
fingers
definitely
crossed, I
work
guess
to.
this time you don't have any issues with flights. I know you didn't make it as an excuse for the last time, but sort of you were sort of getting there last moment for the weigh-in because obviously the flights were delayed. I'm guessing maybe
Yeah,
it's
we had two flights cancelled on us, then a flight delayed on the Friday morning. And it was like the flight was not going to happen at one stage. And then obviously we finally got there. We got delayed the way in for an hour. We got there way then, and it was all sorted, you know. But
I'm guessing
hopefully
this
no
time
faults
around is
this
maybe
time.
an earlier flight, sort of just to try and
Yeah,
stall.
just to be sure. Yeah, just to be sure. Yeah, we'll get an earlier flight and no hassle then.
Obviously, just want to get finally your predictions. Obviously on the night, I guess I know there's no bad blood out of you and Colmer in a way, and I'm not trying to sort of go towards it. How do you see the fight being similar to the same? If you sort of made maybe the wee small adjustments, they obviously turn into your favor this time around.
Yeah, of course. Definitely corrected a lot of my faults from the last fight. And I've been showing them off in the gym, you know, and my camp's going great, you know. I could see it going 10 rounds, just exactly like we did in the last fight, you know. So it's gonna be an interesting one.
Definitely is. Well, I know I said they obviously want to get this out of the way so you can enjoy the last couple of weeks of camp without obviously having to do the sort of media stuff it has to be done. But we'll look forward to obviously seeing you in Fight Week in Belfast.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, may the best man win. Obviously, what everybody wants, I guess, more than anything is obviously a really good fight. And if anybody is thinking, will I get a ticket, will I not get a ticket, go and watch the first fight back on YouTube. And they'll nearly want to buy 2 tickets. They have 2 seats they sit on. They'll obviously enjoy it that much. But I want to thank you, Liam, for your time as always. And
Yeah,
say
thank you.
We'll see you in
Appreciate
just
it.
over 3 weeks' time in Belfast.
Yes, I'll see you in 3 weeks. Go on.
Cheers, Liam. Thank you. Take
Enjoy
care.
your day.
Cheers.
Nice
Thanks.
one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.